So then if I'm going to start with my eyes, I always do an eye primer, which this one's MAC, and it is Nubly, and it's just kind of a nude color, which is what you want because you don't want it to outshine your shadow. And I have this brush that I always use, and you're just going to take it and put it all over your entire eye, the eyelid, the crease, the brow line. I'm a big fan of primers. I actually think that they do work, and they make the colors from the shadows pop a little more, and they definitely make them last longer. Because I never used to use a primer. I didn't start using a primer until probably a year and a half or 2 years ago. And I just think they make a huge difference. So after that, my two kind of go-to palettes for eyeshadow. I wear these basically every time I go out or every time I'm doing my makeup. These are the two that I turn to. And those would be the I'm going to take just a big basic eyeshadow brush and take the Day color from the Natural palette and put it on my whole eyelid all the way up to the brow line. Again, this is the one that's a little bit more matte. That way I don't have a shimmery eye. Sometimes I don't want it to be shimmery. I just want it to be more of a natural look. Which this is by no means natural. Okay. And then I'm going to take my favorite MAC shadow brush, which this is a 280, I think. I've had it for so long that the numbers are wearing off. But it's just kind of basically your basic shadow brush, shader. Shader is the word I'm looking for. And I'm just going to take that and take it to the crease in the corner. And take it all the way to the inner eye. And I always do it in a few layers. I like to make it gradually darker so I don't scare myself in the beginning. Next, I'm going to do the black from the MAC palette. With a different brush. I always use the same brush for my black. That way the black doesn't get mixed into any of my other colors. Okay, after that, I do my eyeliner, which there's two different kinds I use. I'm down to the bare minimum on this one. This is my Sephora Midnight Black pencil, which is the absolute best. Like, there's nothing better than this eyeliner. At least I haven't found anything yet, and I'm almost out. That's why I'm cherishing it. I will use it until it is completely gone. And then the other one that I sometimes use is the Sephora liquid liner, which I'll admit I'm not the best at the liquid liner. It's kind of a practice makes perfect deal. So I'm going to show you how to do my regular pencil liner. That way we don't have any oops with this, because it tends to happen. So, pencil liner, I've already sharpened it, and I'm just going to take it from the corner of my eye to my inner eye. I feel like even pencil liner is also another practice makes perfect. I definitely have gotten better over the years. In high school, I didn't wear makeup at all, ever, not even mascara. So it wasn't until after high school that I started kind of playing with makeup and learning how to use it. So pencil liner even has been a trial and error for me, and practice makes perfect. The key for me was really finding a liner that goes on super, super smooth. The smoother it goes on, the easier it is for you. I mean, if you're getting stuck or having to stop, then it just kind of tricks you up. So I like one that goes on smooth, and it's hard to find. It really is, and that's why I'm so obsessed with this Sephora pencil liner, because it is just the smoothest pencil ever. But also, it's very pigmented. Like, the color is very bold. You don't have to go over it 100 times to make it pop, which is great because no one wants to apply liner over and over again. Okay, so there's my liner. Can you see it? And how my shadow looks. Next, I will do some kind of black underneath. And I always use shadow because I find that if I use pencil or any other kind of liner under there, my eyes tend to water and it runs and it gets clumpy in the corners, and I just hate that. I hate that so much. So to avoid that, I use shadow, which is the best. And I feel like it's easier to apply too. So I don't know, I'm just partial to the shadow underneath. And I always take an angled brush and just dip it in my black shadow. And then I'm going to take it from the outer corner of my eye all the way to the inner corner. Not quite all the way. I guess I try to stay away from the inner corner, also to prevent it from getting clumpy and chunky on that end too. Okay. Eyes. And I guess I do kind of use a liner for this. I'll use this Sephora Kohl liner, and I take it and just do the waterline of the inside just to give that some color. But that usually tends to stay in place with the shadow underneath. And again, I feel like the shadow has a little more pigment, so then it pops a little more as well. That way you're not continuously applying it. So then my next step is usually my eyebrows, which I just fill in just a little bit with the MAC shadow. I use this one, the brown one. And I just take this slightly angled brush that's a little bit thicker. I'm going to take that and just go over my eyebrows a little bit. My last step is mascara, and it is my favorite step. I basically make love to my eyelashes every time I do my makeup. I just love putting on mascara. I love to see how much different they look. I just use my trusty drugstore mascara, which the first one that I always use is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Length. And this one is black. I think they have a very black, which I try to get very black every time, but they were out this time and all they had was waterproof, and I'm not a big fan of the waterproof, so I try to stay away from that. And then the other one that I use is the Maybelline Colossal Volume. And this one is in Glam Black. The blacker the better. That really makes them pop. And the reason why I use these two different ones is because of the brushes. As you can see, this is a very thin brush. It's plastic, but it allows me to really get in there without smudging or making any mascara mistakes. And then this one is a fuller, thicker, bristled brush, which really lets me pack it on and get the See, now you can see a difference in how this eye is totally popping compared to this right one. It just makes the eye stand out so much more. Okay, so there's my lashes. They're not like crazy long, but they're long enough. They do the job. I appreciate them. So that is it. That is my makeup routine. It's super easy. I know that the quality on this video isn't that great, so you're not really seeing the drasticness. Like, I sit here and look in the mirror and I look on the computer and it's two different things, and even on a photo it would be different, but at least you got kind of the gist of what I do and how I use a primer, I use the foundation, I set it with the powder, I set my concealer with the powder, I use the sponge and the brush to apply the makeup just to keep my face clean, to take care of it, and to keep from wrinkles and whatever else. And then you could just see what kind of the products that I use. So again, I know it's kind of a crummy video, but you get the gist, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here. You can email me or leave a comment.